Good morning. Welcome to today's podcast from the Tri-County Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to recognize Southwest Airline, our official travel partner, and also Primacall. Today, we have the pleasure of the presence of Gracie Orr from GPI. She's the Diversity Contract Compliance Manager. Gracie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Oliver. I appreciate it, and it's great to be here with you.
Very good. Now, Gracie, our members and the general public would like to know what is GPI and what does GPI do?
So, the Grand Parkway Infrastructure is a joint venture between Ferrovial, Weber, and Granite, and we are a TxDOT project, so TxDOT is the owner of the project. And we're currently working on the Grand Parkway Infrastructure, State Highway 99. With regards to the project, that's over 50 miles of highway. We're going all the way from New Caney 59 North to Baytown. And we have offices also located throughout there. I can go over that a little bit as well.
Okay, so the project travels through various counties, I suppose.
Yes, sir. Okay. We are in Chambers County, Harris County, Montgomery County, and Liberty County as well.
Okay. Okay. What is the terrain of the project?
The terrain is there's a lot of green space with regards to the terrain. So the greenfield, undeveloped, there's a lot of undeveloped land with over 375 land acquisitions that have been made. So a lot of this has, the road has not been made yet. So
okay.
we're in the process of doing, putting the road in place.
Okay, so does it have major highways that it intersects with?
Yes, actually, the project intersects with 59 and 69 North, I-10, FM 1405, and all the way to State Highway 146.
Okay. Okay, so now if somebody was interested in, being part of this project, what do they have to do, and do they have to have particular certifications in order for them to participate in this project with GPI?
Yes, so we have a 10% DBE goal, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise goal, for our project. And it is a $900 million project. So we're looking to obtain approximately $90 million in participation with the DBE companies. And you don't necessarily have to be certified to participate on the project. However, if you are participating as a DBE, you have to have your certification for the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And with that being said, the DBE is, we have different entities that actually certify for the DBE certification. TxDOT is one of those certifying agencies. The City of Houston is also one of our certifying agencies. Another agency that we utilize is, and I'm so sorry, I'm like trying to
No, that's okay.
go through my notes here. So I mentioned the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity, the City of Austin Small and Minority Business Resource Department, Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority, North Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, South Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, and again, TxDOT, Texas Department of Transportation, are all certifying agencies that we accept the DBE certification from.
Okay. Now, did I hear you say that the business doesn't necessarily have to have a DBE to participate. So does it mean then that there are advantages to having DBE in order to participate in this project?
Yes, I would say for the small business community, if you are participating as a small business, having that DBE certification will benefit with regards to helping to participate in our goal that we do have on the project. Again, we have a 10% DBE goal. So as a prime contractor, we're looking to partner with DBEs to attain that goal as well. So.
Okay, now in terms of the project itself, what kinds of challenges, weather-wise, do small businesses or DBEs have to bear in mind when thinking about participating in this project?
You mean like some of the
like weather delays and stuff like that? I mean,
okay.
What should a prospective participant in this project expect in those areas in terms of delays, that is?
Well, yes, I think it's really important to kind of, when you're planning to be on a TxDOT project or a project such as ours, to really consider those type of things. You have to know the terrain. Once again, the terrain of the project, there's a lot of unacquired land out there. You have to know that there will be some delays along the way, and as a small business, I know that can be difficult to sustain and be able to continue on the project. So it's something that I really want to consider as well with delays and how the project is laid out. We have 3 segments on this project, so one segment might be really turning and burning, and the other segments are just kind of like barely picking up, or the whole schedule of the project, the design of the project. When the design process is in play, there's not going to be a lot of construction. So, and the construction will slowly start to ramp up. And once it does ramp up, that's when it really is beneficial. But through those times when it's kind of like really just, kind of getting off the ground, the smaller companies have to make sure they understand that it could be, work could be sporadic through those times.
Okay, that's understandable. Now, obviously, this is a high dollar project, so most of our members and the general public, I believe, would like to know what are the best practices relative to bidding for this project. I mean, how does what should businesses expect in terms of how do they position themselves for the bidding of this project?
So we do really recommend, one of my observations is just really understanding the project, understanding the RFP, looking at the request for a proposal, and knowing what you're getting into, knowing your capabilities as a company and the expectations of the prime contractor. Also, the contract procurement department is a very good resource, because that is where the contract originates. And so they're looking for background information, and if you're interested in the project, when the RFP goes out, we send the RFP out to our DBEs as well as any contacts that we might have in our database. So it's really important also to register in our database to be on that list of contractors that we will be sending out the RFP request for proposals to.
Okay.
Once those proposals go out, then we're looking for that background info. We're looking for previous experience, like, do you have TxDOT experience? What kind of experience do you have? Have you joint ventured with any other companies? Also, we're looking at the competitive pricing. Pricing is very important. Understanding how to price your project, I cannot stress the importance of that, because especially as a small business, you don't want to underbid, but at the same time, you don't want to, overbid and miss out on opportunities. So it's extremely important. And as any business, you're trying to you're really trying to work on, there's budgets involved as well, and so coming to that median where we're able to have a competitive pricing and also get the right company in place with the capabilities and everything. So, and it's also meeting all the safety requirements and quality requirements, environmental and insurance requirements as well.
Okay, good. You talked about some of the requirements, which includes having tax dot experience. Say a DBE wants to participate in one of these projects with you all, and what kind of experience? When you say tax dot experience, do they have to have done work with tax dot in the past, or do they have to have done work anywhere besides tax dot for that to be accepted as a reference?
Yeah, so definitely TechSot experience on other projects, highway projects, with regards to our company, is a plus. And I always like to, when I'm meeting with small businesses, one of the things is I always like to go over is building that relationship with these companies that are looking for their capabilities to work on the project. Relationship and connection is really big for me as well. Like when I'm speaking with small businesses and getting that connection as well as that reputation. So that experience kind of gives us an idea of their reputation, how they performed on previous projects, or even projects that are similar to our project that we have.
Okay. So currently, though, what are the opportunities for? What are the bidding opportunities that exist as of today that potential contractors and DBEs can look forward to?
Okay, so right now we have opportunities in upcoming cable barrier, ITS and toll roads, illumination, large and small signs, traffic signals, landscaping, bridge painting, and slip form. So, and also I'd like to say that we soon we'll be sending out a traffic and signals information session. We had one on our ITS recently, ITS and our tolls recently. So look for the information coming out for the traffic signals RFP. So when we have an RFP that is one that's specialized or one that we want to try to really get the information out to our community, our business community, we try to have an information session either after the RFP has come out or before the RFP has come out, so that any questions that the business community, whether non-DBE or non-DBE, have, we can kind of get a head start and get those questions answered and kind of give them an opportunity to meet with project personnel as well.
Okay, good. Now, you had talked about the need, the need to register with GPI so they can get this information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is the process to do that registration? Is it hard copy? Is it strictly online? Do they have to call in? How does somebody register with GPI so they can know the opportunities available with GPI?
So you can go on our website, and that is sh99grandpkwy.com, sh99grandpkwy.com. And on there is an icon that they can click on, and it says get registered as a vendor. And basically, you're just putting in some basic information about your company, as well as if you're certified and the scope of work that you're interested in.
Okay, good. Now, What are the procurement requirements? In other words, stuff like insurance, bonding. What are the requirements for somebody to be successful in bidding a project with GPI?
So the insurance requirements are always within the RFP. So I don't actually have those with me today, but let's see.
Okay, so those are included in the RFPs anyway. So anybody
Yes,
who's
sir.
bidding should be able to see those.
Yes, sir. We have information regarding your certificate of insurance that will be needed, as well as, so typically with our RFPs, you'll see the RFP come out when you turn in your bid. You have to have the pricing, as well as when you do get the bid, you have to have your we have a safety program that has to be attended. So we want everyone that's going to be on the project to attend our safety orientation within our offices, and so each person that's on the project will be attending that safety, and they have to sign off that they did attend it. And again, also the certificate of insurance will need to be turned in, as well as and I can also send those insurance requirements out as well.
Okay.
I mean, that's something that more in depth, I guess, for the listeners.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that anybody who is successful in the bidding process on the project would be required to attend a safety class with GPI. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Now, what are the DBE requirements as it relates to labor to participate in this project? Are there any labor requirements for DBEs? In other words, do they have to have a certain number of people working on the project? I mean, stuff like that. Is there such a thing for DBEs?
Yes, sir. So, with regards to actually any company that has labor, we have the labor compliance, the prevailing wages in place, Davis-Bacon Act. So on a weekly basis, we use the LCP tracker, which is one of our, it's pretty well known. It's pretty well known on all projects. The LCP tracker is used to track labor compliance on our project, and there is a requirement for the companies that have labor, non-DBE and DBE, to go into the system and put their hours weekly for their employees. And of course it's much more in depth, but if there's ever any questions, again, anybody that has any questions regarding labor compliance or DBE, they can also call me as well.
Okay. Good.
And as far as DBE, we also use the B2G system, which is that's very well known as on the projects as well. I know a couple other entities that use that system. So we use that to track payments to our DBEs. And basically each month the DBEs will go in to confirm payments that were made to their company. And that pretty much tracks our DB goal for our project as well.
Okay. Now, talking about payments, a small business or DBE who is interested in working on the GPI project, what is the length of time that they can expect to get paid once they begin the job? I mean, is there what can they expect? Is it 30 days, 45 days? Because I know most of these small businesses like to have that kind of information before they start a project, because I'm sure cash flow sometimes is a problem for small businesses.
Absolutely. And again, that's something that I like to explain to the small businesses, because that is something that you will go up against on any project. It takes some time to get the for instance, it's not going to be, you come in, kind of like when you start a job, you come in, and I'm sure a lot of people know this, but when you start a job, you get paid pretty quickly. But when you're on a government project, it's a process. So So we are governed by the Prompt Pay 49 CFR Part 26.29. The Prompt Pay requires with TxDOT requires that we get paid, once we get paid from TxDOT, we have to pay within 10 days.
Okay.
Now, what happens sometimes is, and I'm not saying it's necessarily on the project, but in my experience, what happens is even though companies are not getting, the payment process is a process in itself. You have to turn your invoices in. We verify the invoices. If the invoices have issues, then we have to go back and forth. Sometimes there's some going back and forth as well. But what typically happens is, even if the contractor may not have gotten paid yet, still typically the contractor will pay, So it's not like, I don't think it's as black and white, or just like, it's kind of, there are some in-betweens there that you have to really understand and get adapted to when it comes to payment. But however, I know that GPI definitely is a company that works to pay their contractors on time.
Good. I'm sure our listeners would very much like to hear that and know that. Now, to be sure though, GPI is the prime contractor with TxDOT. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
TxDOT is the owner.
Okay. Good. Now, I understand these are big projects because of the numbers involved. So, with that in mind, Gracie, what is the schedule? What is the average schedule of one of these projects?
So we are we will be finished on spring of 2022. And so they're saying February 2022. And right now we are the pre-construction, design, and procurement of right-of-way, and that portion of it is nearing the completion. So now, as I said, we're kind of ramping up more on the construction end of it. Construction is at about 15% completion, and we have construction activities in all three segments. So it's basically, and I don't think I mentioned this, and I apologize, at the beginning, there are three segments to our project. So we have segment H, segment I1 and I2. So there's three segments that we have within the project. So right now we have heavy construction in segment 1, which is near the 59 Highway 59, and Baytown. There's a lot of construction going on in those two areas, and again, there's a lot of unacquired land in between there, or land that does not have existing highway as well. So.
Okay, good. We obviously have gotten a whole lot of information from Gracie today, so we're going to take a short break and give our listeners an opportunity to digest most of this very good information. So we will be back after the short break. We're back for the second segment of the Let's Talk Business podcast of the Tri-County Black Chamber of Commerce. Again, I'd like to acknowledge Southwest Airlines, which is our official travel partner, and Promoco. We still have Ms. Gracie Orr with us today. She's the Diversity Contract Compliance Manager for GPI. So Gracie, you talked earlier about the DBE certification not requirement, but the DBE certification for the GPI project. So I'd like to know some more about that, and I also want to know, is that the only certification that GPI accepts? Because I know there are other certifications like the Hub. I would like to know if the Hub is also one of the certifications that GPI considers in these projects.
Yeah, so we do just have we have a DBE goal for our project. Again, it's 10% DBE goal, And with that being said, the DBE program is it's made for small business owned and controlled by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals, and they must have a DBE certification. Some of the requirements for that is that it's 51% owned, managed, and controlled by one or more of the socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. And also it must be defined within the small business administration definition of a small business. Another thing is it must also, their personal net worth limit must be no more than 1.32 million. Also on top of that is the gross receipts must not exceed 23.98 million average over 3 years. So those are some of the requirements, and the individuals that meet that socially economic guideline criteria also must be African American, Asian American, Hispanic, Native American, or woman-owned. So those are some of the requirements for that. And I wanted to also give some more information on that. There's a website for TxDOT is www.txdot.gov/business/partnership/DBE. So you can get some more information on that as well from the TxDOT website. Another really good resource is the Office of Business Opportunity. They actually have a certification workshop on every Thursday at 2 o'clock in 611 Walker. So, but you can also go on their website at HoustonTX.gov/OBO. And those are some really good resources to utilize for small businesses when it comes to DBE certification.
Okay. And then to be sure, Gracie, you did say that it was not an absolute requirement to be DBE in order to participate in this project with GPI. So those people that are not DBE still have a shot at projects with GPI. Is that correct?
Right. Not being a DBE doesn't disqualify you from being on our project. We actually have, contractors that typically they are the larger companies, but we do have companies that are not DBE certified on the project. Mm-hmm.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Gracie, for giving us all this needed information. We really appreciate your time today.
Yes.
And we're very grateful. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Is there one more thing on the clarification for the prompt pay? Just want to kind of say, on the prompt pay means to prime contractors will pay each subcontractor for satisfactory performance of its contract no later than 10 days from receipt of each payment the prime contractor receives from the owner. So, and also within that 10 days, it also has to be satisfactory completion of all subcontractors' work. So there are some other guidelines to kind of take into consideration as well when it comes to the prompt payment initiative or prompt payment regulation. So
appreciate that clarification. Yes. So again, what you're saying is, in this case, GPI being the prime contractor with TxDOT, when GPI gets paid 10 days from the date that GPI gets their payment from TxDOT, then the contractors can expect to get their money after that.
Well, that's a regulation.
Regulation.
Okay. And again, it has to be satisfactory completion of all subcontractors' work. But however, as I mentioned, typically there is also a gap between when the owner pays the prime as well. So it's also something that the contractors, the small businesses, have to consider when we talk about payments. And again, there's a lot of that goes into that. It can be complex. So.
I got you. Okay. Well, again, thank you so much, Gracie, for being here with us today. And again, I'd like to acknowledge Southwest Airlines, official travel partner, and Promico. Thank you.